Hello everyone, let's get ready to death battle! My boy Natsu! Here we go. That was a joke, by the way. Judging from the like-dislike ratio, I think Ace has a pretty good chance at winning. I'll give you my thoughts afterward. Even though this is super hard to do from an unbiased perspective, just because I don't read Fairy Tail and I literally do not know, honestly, none of Natsu's feats. I just don't know, so I'm just going in blind, man. Yo.
With Blue Apron.
No, I don't want these ads.
Death battle.
Finally, okay. I just watched the feats. I'm gonna watch the battle.
Hey.
And dun 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 dun.
KO. Ew. That's a burn if I ever saw one. This battle was anything but clear cut.
So Ace lost, man. Yeah, he lost. If you watch the reaction, it took me a while to process it. It was a delayed reaction because my jaw actually drops later. Like when Natsu starts laughing, moments after Ace has been pretty much turned to ash. And it's because I guess I didn't believe it at first. I thought, nah, that can't just be it for Ace. Can it? And then they actually gave the results in the KO, and it's like, okay, yeah, so he actually did lose. He took that L. And, you know, that's okay. That's fine. It's part of life. You know, part of maturity and being a man and growing up is that you know that sometimes your guys have to take L's. You know, it's just the way it is. So yeah, you know, I thought the feats, from what I can tell, at least from Ace's standpoint, were well researched. I don't think they slacked on the feats. I think they did a fair enough job. I hope that the dislike-like ratio kind of serves as evidence to suggest that at least One Piece fans, are mature. We can accept the results. It wasn't the results that we wanted necessarily, but I think we can accept them. Just like Fairy Tail, they took the L with Urza, and we took the win with Zoro. All right, we take the L with Ace, and they take the win with Natsu this time. So, you know, if you notice, my speaking pattern, the way that I'm talking is similar to that of a coach when he's interviewed after losing a championship. That is intentional. I do feel that way, you know. But I believe in my guys, and we'll pull through. One Piece has one of the best top-tier character lineups in any ongoing shonen right now, so I'm confident in them. It's a really good lineup. Now that Ace is gone, as mentioned in the video, he died to protect Luffy. We have another fire user in the show. He's my man Sabo, all right? And he's an expert hockey user. And he's a revolutionary leader. He's still getting used to his fruit. You know, he's still getting used to the fire ability that he has obtained. But I have no doubt that in time he'll be an even greater fire master than what Ace was, his late brother. I will say that, and this is probably clear to most of you watching this, but Ace is not a main character, and Natsu is a main character. Therefore, it seems kind of like almost obvious that because Natsu is the main character, he would have a bigger ability arsenal, you know, because otherwise if the main character just keeps using the same power the same way over and over again, it just gets kind of stale. Versus Ace, if you look at his role as a character, it's actually very minor. It's a very minor role in the story of One Piece. In fact, a lot of what Ace does is act as a catalyst. I was going to say a plot device, but no, he has a character arc, and he's also a catalyst to some of the major plot events of the entire series. But, you know, he's not there for very long. I mean, what he does for the plot is crucial, super important, because he does cause, like, the entire war. You know, him getting captured, him going off to find Blackbeard and then getting captured is, you know, one of the things that just sets in motion one of the greatest, longest arcs in One Piece. My point here is that Ace's screen time is you know, very, very short, very limited in comparison to the screen time that Natsu has gotten over the years. Like, for example, like with Urza and Zoro, like, okay, they're kind of like on the same, kind of the same arena here, because it's like they're both kind of like second in command kind of characters, consistent characters. Whereas Ace, again, he's a more minor role. Another example would be the Toph and Gaara situation. They kind of have similar amount of screen time. Yes, you know, Toph is part of the main cast, but Avatar: The Last Airbender is a shorter series than Naruto, so obviously the feats kind of balance each other out in that regard, and they can both use Earth-based abilities. So again, it kind of balances itself out. Same thing with Goku and Superman, for example. Like, they're both leads. They're both constantly growing at this just godly rate. So that makes sense. And, you know, that's not to say that screen time has any weight on who the victor should be, because it doesn't. You know, you can have very, very few scenes and be overpowered as hell, just be super, super strong. And you can have, you know, the main character, and not be too strong. But my main concern, my main question here is, I guess I just want to know more about the mechanics, about how these fights are being picked in the first place, because it's like, well, you have Natsu and Ace. I don't know if people are just, you know, submitting this as a matchup, but it's like, what is really going on? Like, what are you trying to measure here? I mean, because the only thing they have in common, literally, you know, as opposed to the characters that I've mentioned previously, the only thing Natsu and Ace have in common is the fire that they use. But other than that, there's nothing remotely like similar. There's not a big connection in terms of like how they work as characters. And so when it was announced that they were going to be doing a Natsu versus Ace fight, my first reaction was, why? Like, just why? Like the Urza versus Zoro fight, that one I could understand. And, you know, in my videos that I covered that fight in, I actually said I'm fully expecting Urza to win. I just straight out said that. And, so yeah, not really sure why this was a thing, but, you know, I guess people just like grouping things, you know, based on certain similarities. In this case, it's like the fire ability that gave us this match. I will say that, you know, like, again, like, Sabo can use Haki. He's really well versed in Haki. Ace, okay, here's the thing about Ace, right? So when Ace was alive, Haki wasn't really this explicit thing in the series. It was a thing in the series. We know it existed, but we didn't really know that much about it. So the extent in terms of like what Oda can do with him from a narrative standpoint, because he hadn't introduced the concept of Haki yet, was also very limited to that regard. Like, let me ask you this. If Ace could go full body armament Haki, if he had learned to do that, do you think that armament Haki would have provided some type of defense against an electric attack? Because the world may never know. Also, and this is just kind of like a clarification question on my end, because I was a little bit confused when they mentioned something about Natsu during the feats. They were saying how I understood that the reason why he could use lightning was because he absorbed it at some point in the series. So my question is, does he constantly need to absorb it in order to use it, or is that now part of his new mode? Like, is it just like he can do it by himself, he can produce lightning by himself, or is it that he needs to absorb it from an exterior source every time? I mean, because based on the fight, I'm assuming that he can create it by himself without any, you know, external output of the element. Kind of like Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. But yeah, it was just a little bit confusing. That was the only part that I didn't quite understand in relation to the feats and how it was used in the fight. And I guess a follow-up question to that would be, what would happen if Natsu didn't have that lightning ability? Like, who would win then? Like, would Ace win? Would Natsu still win? Would it just be like fire versus fire, and it would just like keep clashing with itself on for eternity? Because there wouldn't be a clear winner. I don't know. Just something to think about. Other than that, you know, good game. Good game. I accept the results. If nothing else, and I've said this before, I think it's a good thing that, you know, it seems like they're gravitating more and more towards using more anime characters in their matchups. So I think that's really cool because it gives anime more exposure. So even people that are subscribed to them that, you know, don't really know anything about anime, they can, you know, check out these videos and be like, oh, that you know, that ability sounds kind of cool. I wonder what the series is about. So, you know, you can create more fans that way. So I appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you did. Appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below with your thoughts. Thank you, guys.